machine bed. So over here Hey guys, so today I'm going to take you through my normal work process. You get to see how I do my things whenever I get a project from a client. And you guys already know this, so this is what we're going to be cutting. This is a bunch of straw boards that have been some African fabric has been glued on it. We're going to cut some patterns and basically just check you under the hood. You see how I usually do my work. So here we have the straw boards. Whether these are made from recycled paper. The client specializes in handmade items, so this is some of the things that they do. And I really love how beautiful they are. So there we got the straw boards. Nice patterns. So the first thing I usually want to check is to ensure that there are no air holes on any of the straw boards, because when you have some air pockets, I found it can cause quite some smoke to come out whenever you're cutting with your laser. So I just like going through all the straw boards and physically just checking them for any signs of air pockets, maybe things I should be aware of before I start doing the project. In case I find any straw boards that seem to have some air pockets, I'll just like, oh, this is funny, I thought, okay, so they gave me one straw board that doesn't have the fabric. I didn't even know that. Okay, in case I find any straw boards that have some air pockets, I'm going to put them out in the sun so that they get to dry naturally. Shouldn't take quite some time, so that's that. So over here I've just put the straw boards outside on the sun so that they get to dry. Dry straw boards are easier to cut with a laser cutter than wet ones, and since these straw boards are handmade, they have some moisture content in them, and this can make it difficult for the laser to pass through them without removing a ton of smoke. So I just love getting them in the sun for some time so that any remaining moisture can evaporate, and this will make our cutting work much easier. So I'll let them sit in the sun, I'm guessing for about 15 to 20 minutes. Of course, I'll turn them after some time so that both sides get dry, and from there we'll head back to the workshop and start the cutting. So I've just turned the straw boards so that they also get dry on the other side. So I'll also give this a couple of minutes. I'm guessing something like 10 minutes should be enough for this, then we can start with the cutting. So in the meantime, I'll just go and prepare my laser machine, just to make things easier when I get started with working on these projects. So right now, most of the straw boards, I believe all of them are dry. It's been around 15 minutes. I turned them on the other side. So I need to cut them into the right pieces that fit on the laser machine bed. So over here, this is the biggest laser machine that I have at the workshop. This is the X-Tool D1 Pro. And as you can see, we've already put the extensions. So it's kinda long. And then we also have a couple of others. We have the Snap Maker over there. And then we have the Creality Falcon Pro. So that's over that. Then we have a couple of others that I haven't really set up, which I'll set up later. Now, usually I will use the X tool for these materials since the material is quite big. but the only issue is that my X2 laser head is just 10 watts, and with the 10 watts laser head, it's kinda difficult to cut this strobe accurately. So for that reason, I'm just going to use the Creality. I'll use the Creality Falcon Pro for this project, then we continue from there. So actually, since I have like two different designs I'll be cutting, I've just decided for the snowflakes I'm going to be cutting with this X-Tool D1 Pro, and then I'm going to use the Creality for some other animals that I'll be cutting. So first things first, you want to measure the size of your material and compare it to the bed size of your laser machine, so that you can know where you can place it and whether your designs are going to fit. So we're going to do the measuring right now. The material measures 80 centimeters by 60 centimeters, and of course you can see it goes past the bed size of the X-Tool. So it's important to know how big your material is compared to the bed of the laser machine that you have, so that you can know where to place the material in such a manner that after you've cut the designs, any extra material can either be reused or maybe just put aside for other future projects. So I just like saving more materials, that's why measuring is very important. So our materials are already dry and we're ready to put them on the X-Tool. So since the design that I have, I'm going to have like snowflakes here, here, here and here, here and here. I'm going to have to place the material on the bed and do a little bit of measuring just to make sure that the designs will fall in the exact areas that I want them to be on. So let's do that. So I'm going to run a quick frame just to make sure that all the designs will fall within the bed area. So you've seen like the frame is fine. Now we just have to make sure that the designs will fall on the specific colors of the fabric that I want. For this, I'm going to have to mess around with the layout on the computer, but then when I'm done, we'll get straight to cutting. So I'm done with the testing. I've been able to align the designs so that they'll be cut in the exact positions on the strobe that I want. I'll just run a quick last frame, then get cutting. I think everything looks good. So for the setting for the X-Tool, I've set the material to be 3mm basswood. But of course, I'm using strobe. It's only that there's no option for strobe on X-Tool. So you just have to decide which material is kinda similar to what you have. Like look on the options available on the X-Tool, take the material that is kinda similar to what you have, and then put the settings there. Of course, there's also an option of putting your own custom material, and with that will mean like you can set the power and you can also set the speed of the laser. I'm using a 10 watts laser, and since I'm cutting strobe, which is basically a compressed piece of paper, it shouldn't take as much time as it would if I was cutting real plywood. So the X-Tool tells me that the work is going to take about 11 minutes, but I know this is a lie because with the Creality I'm using a 20 watts laser and it takes quite a longer time than 10 minutes. Since I'm cutting 18 pieces, I know it's going to take quite some time, so we'll just see how it runs. The X-Tool is continuing working in the background. I'm going to cut the remaining pieces of material and set them up for the Creality Pro. The laser head of the X-Tool is 10 watts, so it's going to take quite some time, but the Creality Pro has a 20 watts laser head, so it's going to be much quicker. Of course, if you have a laser head that's more powerful, then you're going to finish your work faster. Cutting the strobe takes quite some strength, so you might want to use some heavy duty scissors or maybe any other cutter that's more robust. So I finished cutting the first batch of the straw boards, and since the designs that I'm cutting are quite intricate, they take some time. So I'll set this up on the Creality Falcon, and then when the machine will be working, I'll come and cut the rest of the straw boards. In case you're wondering why I had to cut these straw boards into strips, that's because the Creality Pro that I have does not have an extension, so its bed size is quite small. I have to make sure that the material will fit the bed size. Over here I have my usual, these are just planks, pieces of tile that I use occasionally on flat materials to hold them in place. I think now we can go and run the frame. The designs are here. I'm using Lightburn with the Creality Pro. So these are the designs. Let's run a quick frame and see how things turn out. Okay, so all the three designs will fit in nicely over here. So I'll just go and get started. Let's check some settings. Power. Let me do power at 70 because last time I did power at 80, then it was a little bit, turned out a little bit burnt. Number of passes 3. I think that should be fine. Let's increase the speed 600. Okay. So I'll just start with the cutting. In case you're wondering, I made the honeycomb by myself, and I can link to a video where you can see it. The air assist is a little bit noisy. Let me put it somewhere where it won't make a lot of noise. Okay, so I'll let this one cut as I go and look on the X tool. So I've realized that the X tool was getting these designs a little bit burned, probably because I wasn't using the air assist. So I think the best option for me at this time is just to end this project with the X tool, salvage whatever material I can, and then prepare something else. So for the X tool, because of the burning, I'll stop here. But let me see how much material I can salvage. Okay, so one of the things I have to mention is that you have to ensure your material stays flat on the bed. This is especially if there's a risk that the laser head is going to touch it and then perhaps misalign it. When this happens, in case you have some intricate patterns like the one that I'm having, then you're either going to end up with inaccurate patterns or you're going to end up with destroyed materials. And of course, you don't want this. So for me, I usually use this good old tape, but you can use any tape or just anything to hold your material on the bed. Doesn't really matter. And as you can see over here, I've been cutting some of the patterns, so this is how they're turning out. So quite happy with them. I'll show you the result at the end of the video. And of course, these are the rejects cut out from the materials. This is how our materials end up looking like. I usually like to think that I can recycle them and use them in some other decorations or something, but we'll see how that turns out. So let me lay this material flat on the bed and then I continue with the cutting. So the machine is about to finish the work and you can see a sample of what it has cut. So usually for any laser engraving project, After you doing the cutting, then you have to do some post-processing. The post-processing basically involves removing any blemishes or any unwanted areas that may be sticking out or something. So I'll have to go through all the patterns that have been cut, examine them physically. If there are any that have some weird things protruding or something like that, then I'll have to remove them. Usually
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No I'm not giving up, no I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play.
Till next time, stay building.